last class we have studied chapter 1 of class 8 crop production and management, introduction, agricultural practices. Two broad cropping patterns. Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Basic process of crop production, agricultural practices like preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, irrigation, protecting from weeds and harvesting. The last one is storage. So we have studied in last class preparation of soil. Then it comes plug. This is being used since ancient time for tilling the soil, adding fertilizer to the crop, removing the weeds, scraping of soil, etc. This implement is made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals. Example horses, camels, etc. and cow also. Sorry, bulls. It contains a strong rectangular iron strip called plugs here. The main part of the plug is a long log of wood which is called plug shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft. The other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plug. The indigenous wooden plug is increasingly being replaced by iron plugs nowadays. Hoe, it is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. It has a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its ends. Work like blade, it is pulled. So the picture you are seeing here is a hoe, and this picture is of plug. In Hindi we say nagar, and this is done by bull. Cultivator. Nowadays cultivator are generally used for plugging. That is done by tractor driven cultivator. The use of cultivator save labor and time. So you see behind the tractor there is a iron plug, okay, and plugging is done by tractor drive the tractor. Then it comes 1.4, that is sowing. Sowing is the most important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality seeds are selected. Good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds of a good variety. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give a high yield. Then selection of seed. How we select the seed? So damaged seed become hollow and are thus lighter, therefore they float on water. This is a good method for separating good healthy seeds from the damaged ones. So before sowing, one of the important tasks is to know about the tools used for sowing. Means we fill water and water with a bucket. We fill a bucket with water and we put handful of any seed, wheat, etc. in the water field utensil, and we see that those seeds are good. They drop inside the water and sink inside the water, and those seeds which are damaged and hollow float up on the water. In this way, the floating seeds are separated and the sinked seeds are healthy. It is used for sowing. Now, traditional tool. The tool used traditionally for sowing seed is shaped like funnel. The seeds are filled into the funnel, passed down through two or three pipes having sharp ends. These ends pass into the soil and place seeds there. You see, this is the traditional way of sowing seed. This is a funnel-like structure where seeds are kept and the seed go through this hollow pipe inside the soil. Then nowadays seed drill are used. The seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractor. This tool sows the seeds uniformly at proper distances and depths. It ensures that seeds get covered by the soil after sowing. This prevents damage caused by birds. Sowing by using a seed drill saves time and labor. Now, adding 1.5, adding manure and fertilizer. The substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of plant are called manure and fertilizers. So manure and fertilizers are used for the healthy growth of plant and good crop production. Continuous growing of crop makes the soil poorer in certain nutrients. Therefore, farmers have to add manure to the field to replenish the soil with nutrients. This process is called manuring. Improper or insufficient manuring results in weak plants. So manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plants or animal waste. Farmers dump plant and animal waste in pits at open place and allow it to decompose. The decomposition is caused by some microorganism. Decomposed matter is used as organic manure. Decompose means the complex substance are decomposed or converted into simpler substance by some microorganism. When fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in particular nutrients. How are these different from manure? So fertilizer are produced in factories, and manure we make in our house by cow dung or animal waste or plant waste. When it get decomposed, we get manure. But fertilizers are produced in larger amount in factories. Some example of fertilizer are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. NPK contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The use of fertilizers are helped farmer to get better yield of crops such as wheat, paddy, and maize. But excessive use of fertilizer has made the soil less fertile. Fertilizer have also become a source of water pollution. Therefore, in order to maintain the fertility of the soil, we have to substitute fertilizers by organic manure or leave the field uncultivated, follow in between two crops. So, the use of manure improves soil texture as well as its water retaining capacity. It replenishes the soil with all nutrients. Another method of replenishing the soil with nutrients is through crop rotation. This can be done by growing different crops alternately. Earlier, farmers in northern India used to grow legume as fodder in one season and wheat as in the next season. Fodder means uh, some grasses that are being eaten by farm animals. These are fodders. The nitrogen legumes means the plants which in their root there should be a legume where nitrogen fixing bacteria lives. The nitrogen fixing bacteria fixes nitrogen from the atmosphere and it, it is being used by the plant as a manure or nutrients, and in return plant gives food to the microorganism called rhizobium. So this rhizobium fixes atmospheric nitrogen. Here we see the difference between fertilizer and manure. Fertilizer is an inorganic salt. Manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung, human waste, and plant residues. Second point of fertilizer is a fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure can be prepared in the fields. Third point of fertilizer is a fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil, and manure provides lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Manure is relatively less rich. Manure is relatively less Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. So here advantages, manure are having advantage, but fertilizers uh, causes number of disadvantages, but we use it for large production of crops. So advantages of manure are: the inorganic manure is considered better than fertilizer. This is because it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases the number of friendly microbes. It improves the texture of the soil. Then it comes to irrigation. Irrigation means providing water to the plant. So all living being needs water, and water is essential for seeds to germinate and get nutrients from the soil. The nutrient dissolved in water are absorbed by root and is transported to the other part of the plant. The supply of water to the crop at different interval is called irrigation. So traditional methods of irrigation. See, this is a traditional way of irrigation. Okay, the water are being given by the well by farmer. The water available in well, lakes, and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions. For taking it to the field, cattle or human labor is used in this method. So these methods are cheaper but less efficient. The various traditional ways are moat pulley system, chain pump. This is chain pump. This is moat system. This is Dhekli system. This is done by animal. It is rahat. Now, modern methods of irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation. Number one is a sprinkler system. In a sprinkler system, the motor is joined and the water is pumped in the pipe, and the water is spread in the field by sprinkling from its pipes. See, this is sprinkler system. Then drip system. Again the motor is used to pump the water, but here are pipes. The web of pipes are there in the field and is having very tiny holes. From there drops of water are being given to the roots of the plant. Drip system. Now protection from weeds. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. So, weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides like 2,4-D. These are sprayed in the field to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crops. The weedicides are diluted with water to the extent required and sprayed in the field with a sprayer. Now harvesting. Harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of a crop after it is mature is called harvesting. Harvesting is done by sickle. The harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the sap. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which is in fact a combined harvester and thresher. Now, farmer with small holdings of land do the separation of grain by chaff by winnowing. You have already studied in class 6th in chapter separation, methods of separation. So this is winnowing. Now storage. It comes to the storage. After harvesting, the grains must be stored and should be protected from moisture, microorganisms, insect, rats. The fresh crop has more moisture, so if freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled. So first we dry the grains properly in the sun to reduce the moisture. This prevents the attacks by insect, pest, bacteria and fungi. Farmer store grains in jute bags, metallic bins. However, large scale storage of grain is done in silos, granaries to protect them from pests like rat and insect. This is silos and this is granaries. Now food from animal. So we get some food from animal. For example, milk we get from cow, buffalo, sea goat, sea camel. Similarly, we get egg and meat, etc. from animals. And these are the food, and the sources of this food are animal, fish. Okay. So animals are reared at home or in farms, have to be provided with proper food, shelter and care. When this is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. So we have completed, in this way we have completed the second lesson. Okay, now we end the meeting.